Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the DeFi enthusiast from the Crypto Ronins, and I hope that you're all doing well. So, we have to talk about this today. So, at the time of this recording, the price of Bitcoin is at $95,121, 3.312 trillion market cap. Yeah, BTC dominance at 57.4%, Ethereum dominance at 12.1%. And if we look at Ethereum right now, right, it seems to be in a mode where soon once everything it's on a bullish momentum. If we look at the 7-day chart, yeah, it seems there's upward movement. It looks like a good chart. It seems like we're going to be going up soon, especially after all the fiasco and all the drama that has been going on in the U.S. regarding all the regulations and all of that. So in my last video, as you know, I had already stated that there are the banks have a big problem with the United States bankers, with the U.S. bankers. The U.S. bankers have a big problem with crypto, and the ability for people to earn yield on their money. And they don't want that. They don't want to provide that. They want to stick to their greediness. They want to stick to their regulations. They want to stick to their rules. And obviously, this is going to give birth to the next wave of DeFi. The next wave of DeFi is going to happen anyways, whether anybody likes it or not. It's coming, and with or without them. Now, if they get on board, the good thing is that they're going to allow for more regulations for the Americans, and for less chances for them to get scammed or rug pulled by some DeFi project. If they don't, people are still going to try and find the best platforms to park their money and earn 10%, 12%, some even 18%. And the thing is that Brian Armstrong of Coinbase, he has been very, very vocal about this, and he has not appreciated whatever the bill that was about to be signed was. He did not like it. It wasn't good for crypto in the long run. It wasn't good for the Americans either, because America is the dominant market, and as Trump had already promised, and he already talked about, making this the Bitcoin capital of the world, making this the crypto capital of the world, so on and so forth. You can't have a crypto capital of the world when bankers are ruling, upon us. It doesn't work. Okay, the whole point of crypto was, for us to be our own banks, and we're not interested in all this nonsense. So, if they don't comply, if they don't give a better solution, which is still being discussed, then chances are that things are going to, be looking really, really. A lot of crypto companies are probably going to move elsewhere, and that's really what's going to happen. And I am sure there are plenty of countries waiting for the U.S. to mess up at one certain point, and they're going to provide better services. And it's like a falling empire. Everybody knows the dollar dominance is dying down. Everybody knows in the long run, it's becoming a weaker and weaker currency. Whether anybody accepts it or not is another story. So if Trump really wants to preserve that, he needs to allow for DeFi to flourish. Okay, so that they're able to provide those type of services to the people in the United States. Okay, if those services are not being provided, then obviously people are going to look elsewhere, because look, the genie is out of the bottle. Okay, you can't you can't just decide that we're going to end DeFi. It's not going to happen. I hate to break it to you. Once the technology is there are solutions, and they're going to continue developing. Okay, so either you're with us or you're not with us, and you can do whatever you want, but people are going to find ways to make money. It's just that if you do regulations, if you actually comply, and you give a good solution to the Americans, to the American public, to people in the United States, then we can finally decide, okay, you know what, the merger of DeFi and CeFi, where they come to a, sort of, a meshing point. And obviously banks need to do a better job in providing better products. That's really what it is. They're the greediest people on the planet. They don't care about anybody. Okay, and obviously, the bill in its current form is a really, really bad deal for the retail investors. It's just that simple. This is just not about stable coins. If they're able to do that, they're going to try to create more issues. And obviously, crypto companies that want to innovate, that want to build, they're going to move out. Every company wants to have a share in the earnings. It's just that simple. So you just can't you can't just come out and just say, this is over because, we were doing this. No, you have to change your ways. So coming to that, right? We saw this that the White House threatens to pull support for crypto bill after Coinbase standoff. So for the Clarity Act, Coinbase withdrew support for the Clarity Act, warning the draft would restrict DeFi, ban tokenized equities, and eliminate stablecoin rewards. Yeah, and basically, there were rumors going around that Trump has already threatened, to completely end the bill, cancel it, and again, U.S. the Americans will have no regulatory clarity on this. However, this is where it gets interesting. So, Coinbase CEO denies White House clash, says negotiations are ongoing. Now, Coinbase CEO Armstrong said the industry is working on several ideas to help community banks in the Clarity Market Structure Bill. And Brian Armstrong, the CEO of crypto exchange Coinbase, denied reports that the White House is considering pulling support for the Clarity Act, a crypto market structure bill, and also denied rumors that the administration is furious with Coinbase. The White House has been super constructive here. They did ask us to see if we can go figure out a deal with the banks, which we're currently working on, Armstrong said. On Friday, independent journalist Eleanor Terrett reported a clash between Coinbase and the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump, with the White House threatening to withdraw support for the market structure bill if Coinbase did not resume negotiations. Brian Armstrong said, in general, love your post, but this is not accurate. The White House has been super constructive here. They did ask us to see if we can go figure out a deal with the banks, which we're currently working on. Actually, we've been cooking up some good ideas on how we can help the community banks, specifically in this bill, since that's what this is about. The community banks, right? More coming soon. So here's my point. I don't give a shit about banks, personally speaking, nor does anybody in crypto. Nobody gives a damn about these bankers. Okay, let's be honest. These greedy, manipulative slime balls have been, literally duping people, have been making a fool out of people for years and years and years. And, people are sick of it. And that's why crypto came. That's really what it is. It was a grassroots movement that was started by a bunch of developers and people that had some great ideas. Okay, and it started by normal people. It didn't start with institutional investors or anyone. We got to more than we got to these crazy levels even without institutional support in many ways. And of course, people want mass adoption. More and more money coming in as already it's already been told that most markets are going to go on chain, but they cannot go on chain while completely throwing good DeFi companies that are literally following due diligence, or even exchanges like Coinbase under the bus. It just can't happen. So something's got to give, something's got to happen, and of course it's no surprise that the government is supporting the bankers, because come on, man. Let's be honest. Decentralized ecosystem, benefiting retail a lot more than a bunch of these greedy pigs. What do you think was going to happen? Okay, but I hope they come up with a good solution, because they have to. Because if they don't, like I said, DeFi is not going to die. It's just going to move elsewhere. Companies are going to move elsewhere, and U.S. is going to be left behind. And there are plenty of countries right now, just to stick it to the United States. They will offer better solutions for crypto, for blockchain, and it's going to become a global phenomenon with or without them. So it's up to them if they want to be on board. It's just that simple, guys. Okay. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is, so here's what's interesting, guys. Ethereum has finally done it, guys. So we saw, what was interesting was, I was looking at a post, and here it is. Okay, so all ETFs saw the first net outflow in over 6 weeks. So yeah, this is pretty cool. But here's what it is. Yeah. Ethereum gas fees have dropped below 1 cent while network activity is at an all-time high. For comparison, in 2023, during Pepe meme coin season, gas fees spiked to $50. Same network, more users, almost zero cost. Massive win for Ethereum. It seems like Ethereum has finally figured its biggest hurdle. So what's going to happen to all the layer 1s and layer 2s and base chain and all that? I think base chain is still has some ground because it's linked to Coinbase, but overall I think a lot of layer 2s are going to be done. I mean, if this is if these are the results that are showing, the closest competitor to Ethereum at the moment is Solana, and of course the most robust blockchain, the most innovative, the fastest now, and the most secure is Cubic. Whether anybody likes it or not, that's a different story. But tech-wise, yes, there's nothing like Cubic. But this is great news for Ethereum investors. This is great news for a lot of great utility projects on Ethereum, because a lot of the serious devs, most of them are sitting on Ethereum. Okay, guys, and we're gonna see a spike up. Honestly, this price could 10x in like a couple of years, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice, but so even still, if you want a 10x return in the next 3 to 4 years, I think Ethereum is a very, very good chance it's going to happen. It could be even more. And we still have some bullish price projections for Ethereum, and you can find that out, if you join our newsletter and or join. And if you want personal mentorship with us, you join Cryptocurrencies, guys. So this is really good news. I think it's fantastic. This would make trading on Ethereum a breeze, which was a big issue, gas fees and all of that. I think it's really, really impressive, with all the volume that is there, at the moment, and, they're still able to deliver that. I think that is absolutely fantastic. So congratulations to the Ethereum team for, absolutely crushing it here. But yeah, obviously for all the other layer twos, yeah, the future is, I don't know what's going to happen unless they find some other innovation in their tech. Their biggest flex was that, they were able to, solve what ETH couldn't, which was the gas problem, for a long time. So I think this is fantastic. This is great. Of course, like I've always said, that Ethereum is the silver of crypto if Bitcoin is gold. And, with these developments and with these results, I think more power to them. And I think this is great for a lot of utility plays, because most of the serious projects right now are sitting on Ethereum. Okay. Solana is fantastic, but there are a lot of meme coins there, a lot of things which are totally pump and dumps. There are some really good projects on Solana too. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to primary utility, Ethereum is the place to be. And with these gas fees, God knows how much volume is going to come now with everything that's happening. So I think now that'll be interesting. So I think it's great. I think overall this is a very, very bullish sign, and yeah, great time to be an Ethereum investor, in my opinion. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Guys, if you want the best advice, the best alpha, the best of everything, join our newsletter. Link is going to be in the description. If you want personal mentorship with all the information that we give in our newsletter and more, which is our personal time, and advice and, portfolio, advices and all that. Of course, we're not financial advisors, but we have been in this space for a while, so we can give you the best information to the best of our abilities. We can mentor you. Then join our premium Discord. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. We look forward to seeing you inside one of our programs. And this is me, the DeFi enthusiast from the Crypto Ronins, signing out. Take care of yourselves, guys, and have a good one. Bye.